All right, I'm ready to go with that. Yay.
Excellent. Hello and welcome to this week's Uplifting Conversation. And I am delighted to have in the studio the lovely Missy Rivers. Now, Missy and I have met online, actually. We haven't met in person yet. We're both pretty excited about that being a possibility and something we both look forward to. Missy Rivers is a psychic medium and actually has a really good journey of I know a little bit about Missy's journey and her becoming psychic and the journey of that and how that all came about. And Missy is also on a weekly program called on a weekly Facebook page called Spiritual Events Directory, and that's where we have connected and we follow each other and support each other. So welcome, Missy. I'm so delighted.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me, Kay. I really appreciate it.
Yes, my pleasure. Now, it is always a great thing to have our audience. We've already got someone who's popped in that I can see that is saying hi. So we like this to be a conversation. So if you are listening to this on the live today, Saturday, 9 o'clock? On the 18th of August, you can join in the conversation in the comments. If you've got questions, if you've got anything, we like to have participants. So this morning, Missy's going to share her journey, and we're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to be asking her a little bit about what courage means to her along the way, and we will include a little bit of essential oils along the way when it presents itself. So welcome, Missy.
Thank you.
Now, let's know what has led you in the direction, because I know that you are you've got some exciting news that will let you unfold today. But I know that you are one of these people who wants to make a difference in the world, and you have got your gifts that you use. And what I really love about you is that you are using your courage to step into your bringing these gifts out into the world. So I'll hand it over to you, and you can share your story with us.
Yeah, cool. Good morning. Good morning. Beautiful souls watching, and thank you so much, Kay. That's a big opening. So as you said, Kay, I'm an international psychic medium, and I think with anyone who has a true calling to do spiritual work, you have to have a huge, not just a little, but a huge sense of inner courage, because and as you know, I know a bit about your story, and I'm just in awe of how much courage you have had to have and still do have. The way we have to go about living our life, because it's not necessarily the cookie cutter life, it's not the normal life, it's you have to step out of, you have to color out of the lines, and that naturally takes courage to lead the way, to be an inspiration, to be so yourself that it literally will give other people permission to be themselves. And that first person that takes that stride, and then that second person that makes a stride, is such a big inspiration to others. And that takes courage, because it's easy to just live a run-of-the-mill life. It's easy to get a 9-to-5 job, and there's nothing against 9-to-5 jobs, but it's easy, if that's not who you are, to just pretend it's not, to pretend it is. So I think that comes through and speaks to a lot of spiritual people, to having courage with that. My journey started when I was a little girl. I don't know how much we've spoken about this.
I do remember that it was when you were little, yes.
Yeah. People ask me this question all the time. If I had a dollar for every time someone said, "How did you start all this? How did you get into all of this?" I guess my answer is I was born like this. A lot of people ask me all the time, or it's a topic of conversation in the spiritual community: when was your spiritual awakening? When did you awaken? When did you wake up? There's been no spiritual awakening. There's been hard times. There's been shadow work, but I very much was born awake in this lifetime. I used to talk to my parents when I was 3 about past lives, about when I was an Italian man, I used to share premonitions and dreams. Used to talk about how the trees talk and how, the special thing in the sky, um, you know, certain things. Um, and the good part about this, and this is to speak to parents out there that have a child that is sharing these things. My parents didn't seem like they were alarmed, especially my mum. She really kind of facilitated things. She's quite naturally intuitive herself. Um, so she wouldn't, oh no, don't talk about that, or what do you mean you're an Italian man in your last life when you were here last time? um, she would go, oh well, that's interesting, and she would ask questions about it, not overly, but certainly enough to not make me feel like I was odd. She validated it for me.
That's amazing because a lot of children do have these things, and if they don't have parents that understand them, that's when you shut down and all sorts of things lead from that. So you're very blessed to not have been shut down. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Mm.
Yeah, I was very grateful. I am Aboriginal. I'm a proud Bangarang woman, Dja Dja Wurrung woman, and part of that process with our culture is to live and breathe the fact that the world isn't exactly how a modern society deems it to be. There is a spirit. There is the dream time where magic happens. There is the plants, the world has energy with you. You are of the world. I wear my totem stone ever since I was 21. So
Mm.
my mum has this innate understanding from our culture as well as her own intuition, which I'm very grateful for. Yeah.
Well, look, we've got a comment here. Sometimes I like to just go back and read the comments. We've got some beautiful people here. We've got someone from Scotland. I can't quite see your name, but thanks for all your greetings. And we've got someone saying, all three of my girls are spiritual. My parents told me not to talk about my gifts because people would think I was crazy. And we've
Yeah.
also got, yay, I live in Bangarang country. So great to hear the Bangarang.
Well,
So
that's my country. That's awesome.
oh, that is amazing. So let's know what your name is, whoever wrote that one, because I can't see everybody's names on these comments. So keep them coming and tell us your experiences. Have you known in spirit, uh, the clarity that Missy is talking about? I mean, I think that's wonderful. As a child, I didn't have anything like that, but I did sit in church on a hard, cold pew every Sunday and think, this doesn't feel spiritual to me. And if God is love, and I had all these questions. And actually, one of my things was around Aboriginal people, because I used to think, but I'm born into a Christian family
Yeah.
and I've been taught these things, and the narrative that came with me, came with the story from the church. And I used to think, but what about Aboriginal people who aren't born into a family that takes you to a Christian church? How does that work? I could never, I could never really quite understand that. There was so many questions for me.
Yeah.
So now we've got some come to Wangaratta, Missy, and meet the TOs. Who are meet the TOs, the tribe, is it? Now on that note, I was born in Mooroopna, and Missy and I discovered that we have similar aspects from our background. And I know that I feel like I'm, what do you call it? The black sheep of the family. I'm the one that's done things very differently to everybody else. And not many people are out there on the path that I'm on, like you in my family. Uh, so it's a bit of a lonely journey family wise, but I often wondered, because as I got older and I realized that the Mooroopna has had a very big Aboriginal community, and I wonder about spirits. Was there a spirit that I connected with?
Yeah.
That's a question that I've often had in my mind.
Just a little, I guess, trivia for you here too, Kay, because if you're, connected to Maribna, which I love that, we have a little common history here.
Yeah.
So my people are from that area. I was born in Shepparton. You probably
Yes.
can't see it because of the lighting, but
Yeah, I
on
can see. Yes,
I wear my totem stone. I never take it off.
yes,
We won't say how long it'll take. I've worn it because I've worn it since my 21st, but so 1 or 2 years.
yeah.
My totem is the koala. So we are known as people of the tall trees.
Ah,
And so if you go into between Shepparton and Marupna, you know that big, it's been a while since I've been back, but you know that big the road, but it
yes.
used to be where you literally drive in the tall trees and the you know the yellow gum and the red gum. Yeah. There is spirits there. If you ever
Mm,
go back, you go into
yes.
that bush and you'll feel it. The trees talk to you. It's very rich energy there. So just
Okay. Look,
about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I will go back. Now we've got a few other black sheep in the family. Looks like we're resonating with lots of people here. My kids think I'm nuts. So, Nicole, I always had past life memories and saw and spoke to spirit and could remote view and knew things before they happened.
Yes.
I had a lot of trauma on my gifts, and my gifts went away until my spiritual awakening later in life. The more
Yeah.
I heal, the more I elevate. And that is so true for all of us, isn't it?
I feel like that in that paragraph, Nicole, is you've summarized 99% of people's spiritual journeys, you know, like that is so true. And then that trauma through, oh no, don't speak it. You know, it actually reminds me of, you know, that movie Frozen when she has these beautiful powers and the parents are scared of it. You know, people think you're crazy or they'll think you're dangerous. Just, you know, suppress it, don't feel it, you know. And it's like, you know what does it come in? Let it go, you know, embrace
Yeah.
it, work with it, because what you have is a gift. And that gift has been, whether someone's religious or not, it's a big deal. It's a gift. Have always been and am still quite fascinated with almost every religion on the planet.
Yeah.
Fascinated with it.
Yes.
Um, don't subscribe to any, but I definitely can see the merit and the pitfalls in all of them. When I was younger, in my 20s, I was 23, 24, going through my dark night of the soul, as we call it, living in Cairns. And this beautiful older man came to my doorstep. This beautiful man, how I met him, just to share something with you, Kay, why I'm laughing.
Mm.
Um, little digress. Young 20 something year old woman, and I didn't have any clean clothes. All my clothes were on the washing line. So I had to run out and grab the towel around me and running out to the laundry line and grab some clean knickers and things like that and get myself dressed. And as I was doing that, this man knocked on my gate and it startled me dropping the towel. And this beautiful man, after I got dressed, and
Yes.
he ended up being an elder, a Mormon elder. You know,
Okay.
they come around, they do that knocking, and they speak to you about, you know, have you accepted God into your heart and things like that. And I thought, oh gosh, how am I going to, you know, handle this when, you know, I'm starting to really work with my gifts, and at that point, I was already doing professional readings. I thought, oh dear, he's going to think some really horrible things here. And we ended up I invited him into my porch. We ended up having tea for 2 hours
Mm,
and talking about all things. And I
mm,
asked him a question about how he feels about people who get premonitions and visions and messages and dreams and things like that. And he said, oh, well, you know, that's the Bible teaches us that this is, you know, bad and this is not good and, you know, it's devil's work and all that. I said, okay, I've heard this before, but what if the spirit, God, universe, whatever you call it, is actually bestowing you with a gift in order to help humanity grow
mm.
and be supported? And he just went quiet. And I thought, did I do something to him? And he was very like, he came back and we ended up having a little bit of a friendship there. Yeah. Like having
Oh,
tea.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's like there's threads of truth in all religions, and
Yes.
and really part of the journey of life is us discovering within ourselves what things mean to us and how we feel about them. And really, I guess a great teacher is someone who allows other people to have their experience. Because if I tell you, look, black is white, and I don't give you any understanding or, any experience of it, it's just like us believing them and in all just and going, oh, well, that's what it is. And then you don't have to use your own thinking. But I think for a lot of us, the awakening is being very expansive, in particularly in the last 3 years. And a lot of us, I know for me, I'm realizing how much we have been taught at school that is actually so not true.
Yeah. And
Almost everything. And so, we can go through life and our learnings and, become expanded. We change and we grow. And yeah, it's quite fascinating.
yeah, yeah, it is. But
So we've got
so
Nicole saying, I agree, we find our own truth. Fear comes from lack of understanding. Leslie had her spiritual awakening in 2019. So if any of you are game enough to give us your version or your time, when did you wake up? Are you awake? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? We are open for all of this. And Jackie says, yes, people of the tall trees. I know who it is now, Jackie. Jackie's living in Wangaratta.
yeah,
I feel that rich energy around Wangaratta. Now we've got a starseed baby, Nicole. I'm a starseed baby, so I've always been inquisitive and search for answers. That's
yeah.
beautiful.
And I like that. And that's part of it. I think that's the big difference for me personally. That's the big difference between religious connection and spiritual connection. And I completely agree with you, Kay, that there is validity in so many different, threads of truth in all across the board here. But yeah, the search for truth, for your own truth, the search for answers for yourself. That to me is true spirituality, that journey, that search, and then collecting the little pieces that you need on your way, on your spiritual journey, rather than it being, this is the answer, this is what you'll believe, shoved down your throat. Because to my mother's credit, she was born into and raised into a Seventh-day Adventist family. So she was raised to be, and she has a very similar story to yourself, where she shouldn't speak about her journey. I do believe in people journeying on in journey, but from what I understand, she would participate, but then back of her mind, well, I'm not sure this is resonating. So she definitely supported me how she wasn't supported. So yeah.
Yeah. So Nikki's same as mum, Missy. So isn't it great to connect with other people? That's the other thing, because it can be a very isolating journey as we start shedding old layers and opening up to new ideas, new thoughts, new belief, new understanding. Like for me, my divorce was my catalyst, because I realized that, because I'd kind of turned the door on religion because there were too many things that didn't kind of resonate with me. So I didn't have that conscious connection with spirit. And when I went through a divorce and was all of a sudden placed in the position of being a single mum and 3 kids, and me going, oh my gosh, how am I going to survive? And all these questions, and how fragile I was, all those things, that's when I realized, well, a spiritual connection. I just had this little light within me that said, you're going to be okay. And then I just kind of went, right, I just have to expand this within myself. So for me, then I had to go back and revisit and go through a whole way forward. And it's been I remember, my children were really young, and I felt like I was learning. I felt like I knew nothing, and I was learning all over again. So then that brought in the struggle of bringing up your children and trying to give them, valuable lessons and all those things, when I was still reevaluating life and how things rolled. So, very interesting.
Yeah. Yep, you're the
Glad
edge.
of your journey.
But you speak about that, that spark and that voice of like, you're going to be okay. I feel like I've been very blessed and I'm very grateful for it. There's I've gone through some. I don't normally share this, so it's very big. I've gone through some really, really big things. I'm Scorpio, so my
Okay.
understanding is that
Yes.
naturally Scorpios go through this shit fight and go through quite a traumatic journey by nature.
Mm,
Um, and when we're spiritual, I think we go through a doubly, traumatic journey to awaken us and to, push us to be bigger. Um, but despite all that trauma and those really dark moments throughout my life, even in the darkest of times, I've never felt truly alone. I've always felt this presence around me, this support. And, yeah, what can you say about that? I'm very grateful for that. You do have to expand it and work with it because it's the presence of the universe, whether it's the spirit guides, whether it's your past over loved ones, whether it's your higher self, your inner self, there is a presence. You have an audience around you that is a team to support you,
mm,
pick you up in those hard times. You've still got to get your feet going, but they can give you a little bit of a leg up and to raise you up even more when you're having a good time. So it's nice to have that. I'm never alone. Yeah.
mm, mm. Yep, absolutely. And Leslie Roxburgh says she is a Scorpio as well, so she would know the depths of the Scorpio
Yes.
journey. Yes.
I mean, yeah, when people hear about a little bit about my journey, so um, I don't disclose heaps, even in my friendship groups, I don't disclose heaps. And some things will just come out randomly in conversation, and you can hear people's talks like, "What? That actually happened?" Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
oh, how are you happy still? Like,
Yeah.
if you have to have this beautiful energy in enliven you so you can enliven others. The way I say it is, through your hard times, you've made it through, so celebrate that. Don't let it become. You have a choice to be bitter. You have a choice to be down.
Mm.
Spirit wants you to be happy. Spirit wants you to enjoy life. You pass the test. Don't worry about it anymore. Yeah.
Yes, move on. It's
Yeah.
yes. And Jackie says, "Yay, fellow Scorp, we get a bad rap for being too intense, but yes, we feel deeply and definitely have guides who support us through pain. We learn so much." And that's the the crazy part of life, isn't it? And I think in the last few years, a lot of people have been soul searching and connecting. I know, some of my children are saying, well, life's for living and we're going to be living it and making sure that, we appreciate each day and every day. And instead of just, thinking, well, life is this and not having gratitude is, what is expands our energetic ability to be in the light.
So very true.
Yes.
Spread the light always. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
We talked about trauma and we talked about past lives a little bit. I have a firm belief that a lot of society this day and age, and my mum was actually a big one. Like, she didn't tell me to go and broadcast it to everyone. She said, just keep it between us. You know, you can talk to me about it, talk to me about anything, but just keep it between us because people might not be so receptive, which I can appreciate, especially, back then when I was little. About 100 years ago. So, but I believe that there is so many old souls that have come back through that have actually been traumatized from past life experiences where, there has been such hard things where, say in the 1800s or something like that, where someone said, oh, I saw the stars move, and they might have seen a comet or they might have seen something else, they saw the star move. That's blasphemy, you don't. And then they would have gone either to, a facility, or they were chastised in the
Oh,
community, or perhaps even, branded as a witch or something like this.
mm, mm,
Stars don't move. This is what happens. So I believe there's a lot of past life genetic trauma on our souls to come in, and where this society is like, you know what, we've evolved to a point. We can acknowledge that there are bigger things beyond us. Let's
mm,
not demon everyone as crazy when they're different. We're learning to go with all sorts of shapes and colors here. Yeah.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yes, a lot of people have been, people who've seen things in sight, and it's so true. Being locked up and treated really badly, children who might say to their parents, "Hey, I can see something at the end of my bed," things like that, and parents who might not have experienced such things would just say, "Well, no, I don't want to know about it," because it feels like it's too hard. It feels like
Yeah.
it's, that unknown can be
Yes.
scary
Yeah.
for some people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, yeah. Yes, I've had past life memory trauma. Oh, when my boy got,
Oh,
wow.
oh,
Yeah, yes, that's
yeah.
harsh. Yeah,
Yeah.
but those things happened back in the day. Yeah, yeah, and those experiences from past lives do actually they come with us. The scars on our physical body that we're born with, um, the type of way we react to things, good and bad. Um, yeah, it's a big deal. It sticks with us. Um, I have a memory of a past life of being shot. I was an archer in the, I think it might have been in the Scottish artillery, if you will. Is artillery, is that what they call them?
Oh, that'll do. I think I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember some time ago, centuries
Yeah.
ago, and I had this memory of being in this forest. And it was very dreary, and I was getting my arrow pulled back, and I was ready, and I was looking in the bush, and I couldn't see where I was shooting, and I got shot with an arrow, and straight got me, and I have no freckles on my body except one on my leg, which arose when I was younger, but I wasn't born with it. But I have one very specific, like mark. We'll call it a mark. That's the same size as what an arrowhead would be, and it's right in the middle of my chest,
Yeah.
as though I've been shot there. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yep.
we bring those things through, and yeah, very interesting.
Very interesting. So Nicole had to forgive her aunt in this one, and she carried the karma into this one.
Hmm.
Okay. So Nicole's very tuned in with what's going on with her past life experiences. I actually haven't. I know once I did have a past life experience when I was with somebody. I was doing a session. I can't remember what for, but I was with someone who was doing some healing work, and yeah, I had a memory of being in a war zone somewhere, and I was just sitting on the side of the road, and it was like it was somewhere in the Middle East. It was sort of very deserty, and everyone had left. I was there by myself somehow, but then my grandfather came in and connected with me or found me or something. But that was about. I haven't had too many past life
Wow.
experiences that I can consciously remember. Hmm.
Yeah, this is fascinating. Oh, yeah. Oh, I love past life talking. It's
Yeah,
fantastic. It's really interesting. Joan Wilson from Hand on Heart Healing, she's really good at facilitating that space for you to kind of
yes,
find back to your past
yeah.
life and work through that trauma. It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. When I work with people, past life things might come through with my clients and things like that, but not necessarily. Yeah. So, but I can work with it and I understand it and I have an acceptance of it. So,
Mm,
Missy, you had all this, but and you kept it little, or your mum probably very wisely helped you to contain it to some degree without getting you to close it down. But as time's gone on, you must have stepped out, and it does. I'm always talking courage, because we can have our gifts, we can have our understandings, or we can have our urges, or our, what I call them, divine nudges,
mhm.
to say do this or do that, or to be, which really are guiding us.
Yes.
But a lot of us have these messages, but we don't take any action. Can you talk me through what you think about how courage has played a role for you in bringing your work out into the world?
Oh my gosh, it's a big question. When it comes to courage, and I've learnt to define courage in a different way as an adult, yeah.
Mm, mm,
When I was a little girl, I just thought courage was because I was always very fiery, I always had this sense of justice, and no matter what, justice will be done, even if I put myself in harm's way. So that which is
mm.
traumatizing to parents. Like,
Yes.
please don't hurt yourself trying to help someone else, But there's justice, there's courage, and I had
Mm,
a lot of that. Now I've kind of learned to channel my courage and choose my battles and get a higher, more divine result,
yes. Yep.
rather than picking every battle. Um, I feel like courage is very much that um, the nudge to put yourself into a position where you need to be. And that human side, that 3D side, that very much like, the meat sack side going, oh my gosh, I don't know if this should be done, if this can be done. And, we all do that. I do it
Mm,
too. And we
mm,
are I'm not sure. Well,
mm,
it will work out. And then that courage, that divine nudge comes through, and you need to acknowledge that because it's there for a reason, and it's there to help you, not to set you up to fail. And that's part of that faith, that trust, that knowing in that spiritual place of breathe.
mm.
I need to know that I have enough courage in myself to get this job done because this is why I'm here. And to allow that courage to work through you and move forward doesn't mean those little fears and that niggle and that feeling in the pit of your stomach goes away. It just means that it's acknowledged, but we've got this. Yeah. And
Yes.
that divine courage for
Mm,
change.
mm. I like that. It is that they say, even famous people who go on stage, they get the nerves. I've been to lots of self-development, workshops and things like that. And they all say, oh, I've got the jitters before I get on stage. So it's not necessarily something that comes to an end, but it's something that we learn to work with it. And we
Yeah.
learn to go, well, yeah, the jitters are there. But, for me these days, that's where my valor comes in. I'm always talking about valor and courage. So, or, and you through your breath. So for me, it's yes, grab an oil, have a smell, and you just let your energy drop, put it on your wrists
Yeah.
and open yourself up. And so finding tools, or for me, look, for a few years, I was pretty scared of going to a dentist. I don't really know why. Well, because you know that it could be painful, but I used to take, and still might do, take a crystal or something in my pocket and just, tune into holding that and take myself into a meditation and let my Reiki kick in, and then you can just lie in the dentist chair and you can actually be in another, like an
Yes.
altered state of
Mm.
relaxation, and everything's, goes okay. So we need to learn um, tricks, or
Yes.
strategies
Yeah.
to help get through. And usually our mind takes us to places that, I mean, I know I've had a situation here at home recently, and I got a letter. I got a letter from the council over some things that I'd done here in my home, and I'm like, oh my gosh! And I went into overload and going, oh my god, it's going to cost me a fortune. It's going to do this and that, and it's going to be hard going, and I got myself all worked up into a lather about it. And then I went, "Ah, just drop that. Just imagine that this is my motto. It's all going to work out just fine with ease and grace. And
Yeah.
it is panning out. And I'm finding solutions and going, oh, okay, I don't actually have to hire that building surveyor to get me through. I can tick these things off the list in this way. So, but once I got myself down off that mountain that was in my head that was growing,
Yes.
then then I was calm enough to come up with a way forward. So,
Yeah.
and I often talk to people about drawing a line in the sand. This
Mm.
is how you've dealt with things till now, where we're going to draw a line and we're going to step over that line, and we're not going to go down that track. We're going to put in a new way forward, new thoughts, and it's very much us choosing our thoughts. We can program our thoughts. We can change our own mind. Do you do some of that?
Yes, I completely agree with you there. You have to, and it's not to say that those freak out moments don't happen. It's just how you manage them. We are human after all. And yeah, it's how you manage them, how you are in control of your thoughts, and you understand that capacity of how much these thoughts can actually influence your vibration, and your vibration
Mm.
influences your path that you move forward with. You have a plethora of options as you move forward. We're going to choose that path of grace and ease, like you say, and you're setting that tone for yourself. I love that.
Mm.
Courage is in the absence of fear, it's doing it anyway.
Yes, exactly. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Leslie said, I feel the energy different. Nicole
Yeah.
said, I've also memories of living in, not on another planet. We flew into a planet much like the sun. I
Yep.
recently found out that it wasn't the sun, but Sirius.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Off planet past lives. Oh, I could talk about that all day. It's good stuff. It's really cool. It's good that people are happy to share this. I'm
Yeah.
you know what, hey, this is great that we're facilitating this space for beautiful people, because I'm sure this isn't like the water cooler at work stuff that you can talk about. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I have a memory flying into a planet of my past life. This is cool, but yet it's completely valid, guys. It's so valid. So valid. This is again what we're talking about, like us being ourselves. It takes courage for you to be you, it takes courage for me to be me, because
Yes.
boy, I do cop some, hits. I'm sure you do too, but people still to this day and age find out what I do for a living, and then they go, oh, well, that's, and the
Yeah.
aspersions are cast. But when you cop that, then there's so much more good done of, I need to validate the fact that I'm having this experience, therefore you guys can have this experience, and own your own stuff. Because when you own your spiritual growth, your spiritual journey, then you get to make some really big leaps and bounds and make it better
Absolutely.
for yourself this life. Yeah.
And the thing is, then what you do discover is once you've rejigged yourself, realigned and gone, well, hang on, this is what it is, and I'm ready to put myself out there. The people come, the community come, the connections come, and you've got to give it time. You've got to have patience. You've got to give other people respect. There's so many things that you learn along the way, but I wouldn't have, if you told me 10 years ago, if you told me 3 years ago I'd be doing what I'm doing now, I would have
Yes.
gone, oh, you're crazy. That's not me. So and I often talk about this too, that it probably took me 2 years to talk myself into going live on Facebook. That was a major hurdle for me. And now I just jump on, and I'm a
Yeah.
bit so sometimes I'm that relaxed, but then you go, well, this is me, and people will resonate. Look, and sometimes I think, oh, I haven't got much audience, or what am I doing this for, or whatever it is, and then you'll get this little message. Oh, thank you so much for today. It was just what I needed to hear.
Yeah.
And you go, and they're the things that keeps me going.
Yeah.
Those little sense of appreciation.
Oh,
Now, Missy, you've stepped up and you've stepped out. To give us a little list of things you've been doing, and then talk about the new opening that I'd love to hear. I know a few snippets, but you're actually in a stage of expansion yourself, aren't you?
things I've been doing.
Yeah.
So, wow. I'm I'm a single mom, and
Yes.
I like to think of myself as pretty hands-on mum, but then how many hands do I have? So I do a lot. I do a radio show with Crystal and Anthony up here. You're welcome to listen to it, Kay, if you have a chance. You can listen to it on like an app, if you want. I know you're in Tasmania, but
Sounds good. No, that sounds good. You'll have to send me the link or let people know. What's the app called?
I Heart Radio app. Yeah.
Ah, yes, okay. David Laws, who's just moved to Tassie, has just announced that
I saw
he's
that.
going to be
He's in
doing a show
Tasmania.
on that too. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, cool. I was thinking about you when I saw that he moved to Tasmania. I had a reading when I was in my 20s with David, and
Mhm.
yeah, that certainly sparked me to move forward with my spiritual journey too.
Mm,
He's
yes.
lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. So yeah, look, I do keep myself really busy. I have a shop, Will Book and Candle. I have a radio show. I write for a magazine. I do a newsletter. I do readings. I do events. I travel for work. And
Gi
yeah, I do heaps.
Yeah, Jill of many trades. So psychic readings, people can book you in for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
wonderful.
And
And
now, what we're doing now moving forward is I am days away from officially launching, so you guys can have the inside word here.
oh,
um, I am now opening as of next month in September. Townsville Spiritual Centre will be open and operated by myself. There's going to be different practitioners. The idea of this centre is we have multiple rooms where you're welcome to come in. In the foyer is the beautiful crystal shop that I still have. It'll be moved there. Come select a crystal. There will be oils there, the Young Living oils.
yeah,
There will be a Zen room, a meditation room where you're welcome to come in, sit down, read a book, have a cup of tea. That real holding space room. Yeah, there'll be selenite. There will be the salt lamps, frequency music. If you want to read a book, have a cup of tea with a friend, or just sit and meditate quietly, just really rest that nervous system. Then we'll have myself doing readings and healings in a room. We've got, kinesiology, we've got massage, and then a large room, which actually hold events in, where we'll have, the drum circle. We'll have, meditation retreats, yoga circles, things like this. So that is launching next month. So that'll keep me even more busy.
that's so
I
exciting.
don't,
I mean,
I don't like
I can
sleep.
I can I congratulate you because you're just trusting in where your nudges are taking you, where your energy, and you're allowing your energy to flow. And I think that's something that's, it's brave and it's risk taking. And
Yeah.
I think in life, if we don't take risks, it's like you'll never know if you don't have a go. And imagine if, I always imagine a world where each and every one of us allow that light from within to shine and overflow to others. And we need more and more people who are ready to say, yes, this is me and this is the path forward. So I really congratulate you, and I'm excited because I know I'm going to come up and do some things with you as well at some point. Yeah.
we there was moments, and there has been, I'm sure everyone will resonate this, where you have a choice between two different paths, and there's
Mm.
moments where you think, oh, it's just easier to just not do that. It's easier to
Yeah.
just not, this is more expense, this is more effort, more time, more coordination. It's just easier to stay there. And I definitely had that thought. I'm a lateral thinker. I like to look at my options, and I felt into it. That's the difference. I didn't
Yes.
let thoughts, I felt into it. I feel into, if I stay where I am and I just have my little shop, which I love, it's cute.
Yeah.
Um, that would be simple and easy. But if I don't do this, even though it's scary, and I am scared, but I'm going
Yes.
to do it anyway, I'm going to have
Yeah.
that courage.
Yes.
It's enough to be like, I will not be following my true self if that isn't done. So
Exactly.
just look after you.
And that is the point of feel into it. If I didn't do it, how would I feel? And
Yeah.
if I did do it, how would I feel? And
Yeah.
I think too much we get, particularly as women, we get caught up in our own heads, and our heads go to town with thoughts. And I get flooded with so many thoughts and ideas, and then you kind of spinning around and nothing gets done. It's like, staying on the Russian roulette, the wheel of fortune. But at some point we need to land,
Yeah.
and we need to go within and
Yes.
and talk to God, creator, spirit, and just see how that resonates. And
Mhm.
I think it's interesting because, we go to school and we're taught, and I'm a school teacher, so I know very well what goes on in schools. And we're just taught to, we're told. We're told. But are we told that we could be more than what we are? Are we told to dream? Are we told that there's, potential or possibilities? Individual teachers might carry that energy within them, and a lot of them do. Actually, I know a most beautiful teacher, and she's in Townsville now. She used to be down here. Her name's not coming to me. It might come to me. And she taught my daughter, and she was gorgeous. I remember she had these big puppets, and she got the kids to take the role, and she got the kids to take ownership of a whole lot of things in the classroom. And it was like I was so excited that one of my daughters had her, and I'm so blessed to have her, who gave so much to the students, and I bet she does a lot of good for the children in her class. I wish
Mm.
more teachers were like that, that's for sure. But
Yes.
we need to be given the opportunity to make mistakes. We need to be given the opportunity to learn uh, for ourselves from within.
Yeah. So
And
true.
so Jess is saying, definitely shifting to a new perspective. Shadow work time is done. Time to
Yes.
shift to a new timeline. Trusting
I
in the
love it.
flow of life. I love that.
Yeah. So true. Yeah,
Yes.
shifting to new timelines. They're literally being created every day. We're not. We've caught up to the timelines. I feel very much so, and I feel like this day and age we're writing the timelines as they happen, which is a
Hmm.
huge deal. Yeah, I don't feel like this has happened before in history. Um, just coming back to that school thing, I've had many jobs, formal jobs in my life, and when I was in my early 20s, after having a horrific breakup with my fiance when I was younger, he had an affair. So as a young 20-year-old, something you get really shattered, and I needed to have a new job to pay for my rent because he wasn't there anymore. Hard times, and I ended up taking a job as a teacher aide, and one of the most beautiful jobs in the world. I was so blessed to be able to do. And on that note of, as a teacher aide, I kind of was like moved from, classroom to classroom. I had my schedule. You work with the preppies, work with the,
Mm.
and there was such a beautiful essence there. And I'm not chastising any teachers who feel burnt out. I'm sure they get worked to the
Oh,
bone.
yes. Oh,
Yes.
yes. Yes. That's a
But there
big
was this undertone of just get in and do it and just don't talk to me. And I was like, okay, well, let's breathe new life into this. And these kids would come and go, okay, you know what? You don't want to learn in the classroom. Let's go do mathematics on the oval. Because I was just, come take these trouble kids, take the 5 boys who won't sit still, get them out of my hair. Cool.
Mm.
So let's learn how you want to learn. Let's do this. It was really, really quite enlightening to hear this feedback from these kids of, let's do positive. How come you never get cranky at us? Or, how come, you make games for us to learn? I said, well, this is about you learning. I want to help you. And perspective. I'm not
Mm.
going to get cranky because the pencil was dropped on the floor, or, perspective. Are you safe? And we run through those things. And then it just created that point
Mm.
of, I can do better. I can do. And it was
Mm.
just such a beautiful way of being with that spiritual perspective, I think, like perspective.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. And there's so many children. I mean, I loved the children. I loved all the kids, but I loved the children that were the odd ones out, or the sensory kids, or the ones that needed that extra TLC to have them cope. And I remember one little boy, and he had struggling with writing. And I used to just say, but his imagination and his verbal skills were brilliant. And I'd
Yeah.
just say, "Well, just go and write your story." And I didn't care what he put on the paper,
Mhm.
but I just gave him that confidence
Yeah.
to think that he could do it. And
Yes.
and it became such that he did do it. And and the lovely things you get from parents who will come and say, "Oh my gosh, you've had a really big impact on my little one, and I'm so grateful," because there's so many kids who
Yeah.
struggle in the school system. But I do want to defend teachers as well, because we are being presented with more and more children that are considered high needs, who need to have individual learning plans. And some
Mm.
some classes, I had a work colleague, he had 11 children in his class that all needed an individual learning plan. Now, how can one teacher cater for that? It is
Yeah. And not
huge.
supported. Yeah.
Uh, there's lack of support. Every classroom should have not one but two aides minimal in,
Mm.
or support teachers in the classroom. I was lucky for a while. I had a position where I was teaching children one-on-one who were at risk of learning to read, and I was trained to give, with reading recovery, to give them intensive learning, and it was fantastic because I could just tune in on one child, and you could do all that other work with them just to get them along and to have them believing that they could do it and giving them that courage and the
Courage.
confidence
Yes.
to go.
Courage to be themselves, courage that they
Yeah,
can do it.
and
Yeah.
not put them down for if they make a mistake, or
Mhm.
and just allow them to just be who they are, and then from there you help them to expand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, Nicole, the
Isn't there?
support's not there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what a journey. So it's going to be great to watch you and where you go and where this takes you. And or do you have goals of where it's going to take you? Do you sort of have a place where you think you're going to, or do you let that unfold in your journey?
I'm as being a Scorpio, I'm a fixed sign, so I do like structure. I do like plans and goals, and every year I do sit down at the new moon of the beginning of the year, and I do my yearly goals and how I'm going to get there. But it's a bit of both. I kind of, this is what I
Yes.
want, universe. This is what I'm hoping for. Can you please help me get this or better? Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I
whatever is
like.
going to be good. So a bit of flexibility is always needed, I think. And but structure, I need structure because I'm a fixed sign. And
Yeah.
you're happy birthday to you, by the way, guys. If you didn't know that Kay's birthday was 2 days ago, she's a Leo. She's 17th of August. So happy birthday.
Thank you, darling. Yes, thank you. I've had that many happy birthdays on Facebook. It's been just amazing. I can't answer everyone individually, but it's been fantastic, and I've really felt the love. It's been really nice. So now, well, I had something in mind. So you haven't actually received your Young Living oils yet, but you have made a most amazing decision, and I'm so excited because you have decided that you are ready to get yourself some oils, and I know you've been thinking about it for a while. So yeah, so they'll be coming soon, and you planned. And what? So why did you decide that you wanted to grab some Young Living oils?
So I've always been interested in oils. When I was a little girl, I would go, use my pocket money to go to, remember Crazy Clark's or, those kind of shops. And I would think, oh, what a bargain. I've got $3 pocket money. I can buy a $2 essential oil and I'd go home and put it everywhere, much to my parents' disgust. So I've always liked oils, but I've never really known truly how to use them properly. And the more I go into my journey as an adult, learning the tools I've always used, I perhaps have been using them incorrectly or not as much as what their full potential is.
Okay.
So going on my oil journey in particular, knowing that, if an oil is perhaps sold for $2 in the op shop or, the $2 shop, maybe not the best quality. Obviously, we know that now. But then moving through, different brands and things and hearing about knowing what I know about frequency, about energy, and how everything has energy input into it. When I have a veggie garden, I will plant under the new moon and I will harvest under a full on certain things. So having an understanding of when to work with certain plants is a big deal. And you were the one who were talking to me. I remember watching you with this about the history of Young Living oils, having an understanding of how frequency and how to work with specific plants at specific times, and that Young Living oils have actually done that and they've done their research. So this is, to me, this is spirituality and frequency plus science and common sense coming together to create an amazing product that you can use to help elevate yourself. Like you said, you use Bala.
Yes.
supporting you through that, getting that courage. Yeah. So I have an understanding, which I'm looking to expand, but I have an understanding that oils are just a beautiful um, tool, all-rounder tool
Mm.
that we can use mind, body, and soul. Yeah. And I believe you even you put a drop or two of your oils in your stuff.
Yes, yes, I have a drink here today, my Ningxia Red, which is what I
Yeah.
normally drink when I'm online, and it actually comes with oils in it, but I'm adding other oils for lots of
Mm.
different reasons at the
Yeah.
moment as well. So yes, you can use them in your cooking and
Yeah.
in your drinks. Love peppermint oil with my hot chocolate, with my cacao, and you can use so many things. Use them on your face, and we use
Mm.
them for cleaning. It's just become an integral part of my life, and I look forward to um, you know sharing that journey with you, Missy, because to me, I was just thinking while you were talking about that tools. To me, we say a prayer and to spirit, to God. But I also, when you include the oils, that's going to expand that frequency as well. And it's like, well, we get dressed to keep warm. So we put some oils on to help with that layer of um,
Mm.
courage or
Yeah.
peace or energy or whatever it is that you're looking to support your energy with. So now
The
we
ancient
yeah,
So I was
go.
just going to say, Kate, this is a big thing when people don't know about oils. It's such an ancient tool. The
Mm,
ancient Egyptians, ancient
yes,
Romans used to
yes,
use oils for all of the stuff that we're getting back into now. For they would put well, it was valor, but they would use oils before battle. They would use
yeah.
oils before prayer, before an anointment of a ceremony. Like it was a big part of this. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's actually where you might have heard that story, but that's where valor comes.
No.
That Okay, so it was inspired by Gary Young learning that the Roman soldiers put them on before battle, and
Yes.
he had a personal battle that he had to go to court with, and he studied law for 12 months. He had no money to take a lawyer, and he won the battle. But during that time, he found valor, and he created this blend, and he
Yeah.
took that in, and he wore that throughout that time.
Yeah.
I had to go to court myself over something very tragic, and it wasn't very pleasant. And valor was the oil that
You
I
through.
mean, amongst others, but that yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Nicole said she wondered if you could add them to food and drinks. Absolutely, but please make sure you are using 100% pure oil. Now, the thing about that is that they can have 100% on the label. It actually means legally they've put a little bit of pure oil in.
Yeah.
So the only company that I trust and use is Young Living, because I know that I can trust and rely on them, and I've been to the farms, and we get to meet the people. I'm excited because in a couple of weeks I'm going up to Darwin, and I'm going to go and visit our blue cypress farm. It's the plan up in Darwin. So once you become a member of Young Living, we can go and see all our farms. We're welcome with open arms. So we'll go up there, and I'll be doing definitely, I don't know if they'll have Wi-Fi, but I'll be doing some recording and being quite
Yes.
excited. Yeah.
Yes. I would love to see that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. So amazing. Well, this has been a wonderful conversation. You've brought such a rich discussion in here, and I really appreciate all these beautiful people with all your beautiful thoughts and support. So I look forward to, I did propose to Missy, she might like to come on again, maybe as a regular guest. We haven't nailed any of that yet. We will see what happens. But thank you very much, Missy, for today. I feel like we've only just got to the surface.
Thank you so much for having me, and everyone for watching now or in some version of the future. It's been wonderful to discuss and just shoot the breeze about wonderful topics. Thank you so much, Kay, for having me. I'm I'm in awe of your courage, and you are, whether you know it or not, and I'll continue to tell you, you are inspiring. Just being who you are, you inspire me. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. And likewise, very much so. So together we rise. And yeah, to all those people out there who have been listening, thank you very much. And make sure that you follow those divine nudge. The divine nudges that you get, and take up the armor of courage. If you need extra courage, if you want to raise your vibrations, come and talk to me about getting some Young Living oils, because honestly, they make such a difference and they help you to move through life in so many ways. And they're such a blessing to your family, to your children. I'm looking forward to hearing what Missy's son, how he enjoys the oils once they come into their life as well.
I might have to buy him his own pack.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so, yeah, exactly. Well, we have a great kiddie range as well. Yeah. So, Karen, that's okay, darling. It's recorded. She's just joined. That's fine. It's recorded. You can always just click on the graphic if you're on Facebook. It stays in the group. It's always here. And you can follow me on YouTube, Kay Hamilton, and go to videos. And all my past videos are there. So, with love and light from my heart to your hearts, go forth with your courage in peace, bravery, love, joy, and ease. Bye.